Well, he got hit back somewhere in here. I couldn't tell you exactly where, but so he's just going for some further tests. Anytime you get head injury, you got to get looked at. So that's about the extent of it right now.
Over here on the right.
Completely different situation you were after 2 last year, and you haven't even got to the AL ERA champion. Just how are you feeling about your spot?
Well, I learned something last year that you got to win 3 games. They got a great team over there. You don't lead the American League, a powerhouse league with you don't luck into that. And they made a big run at us tonight. They could have big hit, and that might be the other result. So, but our young kid Asuna stepped up. But yeah, hey, nothing's going to be easy. Yeah, we always feel good when Sanchez takes them out, but I know they feel good whenever they take the field too. So,
Richard here in front.
When you got Tulo, you said right. I remember you saying right off. He upgraded our defense today. He walked in the door and sort of, along with Pilar, sort of gave your team a completely different look, right?
Oh yeah, Richard. Yeah, he made a huge difference. And it got to the point where he was taking some criticism for not hitting a lot when he first got here. But to me, of course it mattered, but it didn't because how he really cleaned up our infield play. He started taking away hits, getting the balls. Plays you got to make, and it really changed the dynamic of our team just by doing that. And of course he's a leader on the field, so all that was beneficial. And he makes some plays. He makes that ball in the 5-6 hole on the move with the flip down here as good as anybody. I've never seen anybody make that many, and his throws are money. And he's just we don't get there last year without him. I guess I could sum it up that way.
Standing up in the back.
Gibby, when did you find out about Devin Travis, and what's the extent of that injury?
Yeah, we're not sure. He came in today and his knee had locked up on him. I didn't hear any complaints about it last night. So they gave him a shot. That didn't do the trick, and so we'll just kind of have to go day by day, see how he is tomorrow. He'll get an MRI when he gets home tonight or tomorrow, and we'll have a little better idea. Who knows? I don't think it's a big deal, but I think it's important to get a look at it. And but yeah, that was a last second thing. So.
Here in the front, Brad.
Why do you think your guys were successful against Darvish? Only 5 hits, but obviously made them count.
Well, home runs are always a good thing. And what do we hit 4 today? Tulo, another big game. He had the big game yesterday, and he got us on the board. Because it wasn't easy. Yeah, like you said, we weren't getting many hits. But, if you can hit some home runs, that makes a huge difference. And some good at-bats. Some unlucky guys. Carrera, unlikely. He doesn't hit a lot of home runs. Kev can hit a share. Kev, I know one thing about Pilar. He doesn't necessarily hit a lot of them, but he hits some big ones. And that gives us that extra run. And then, of course, Eddie does that all the time. So, yeah.
On your left.
Bringing Osuna in the 8th there, did you just feel like that was the moment you needed to shut things down?
Yeah, well, really, that wasn't ideal. We wanted to go 1 inning. I talked to him before the game. He said he felt really good. The way, Liriano hasn't thrown a whole lot out of the pen, but the way it's set up, I figure, hey, he get 3 outs right there. We're in good shape anyway. And, the Marlins ball got things going in the walk and things like that. And then, of course, then he got hit. But, that getting brought in Osuna, hey, you got to put a stop to this, at least keep the lead, because it goes the other way. That game's over. And it was starting to go that way.
Hap got the job done for you guys today, but wasn't necessarily at his sharpest, at least from the outside looking in. But what did you see from him today?
Yeah, I agree. I didn't think he was as sharp as we normally see him. But they battle you. They got some good. He's got a tough lineup over there to face, and they battled him pretty good. And then they were getting a lot of hits. And that's kind of he's not a guy that necessarily gives up a lot of hits. That's always a red flag. He got some key. He built himself out of some key innings because he had runners on base and got some big strikeouts and get some big outs. No doubt that game could have flipped like that. So, I didn't think he was necessarily as sharp as we've seen him the majority of the time, but a lot of that has to, I thought their offense battled him pretty good too, though.
Richard.
I wanted to ask you two things. One, about the last 2 years, you have so many new players. How did you create a team out of all these new guys? And do you think grinding out a victory like this is partly from having all that postseason experience last year and just kind of knowing what postseason baseball is like?
Richard, it helps. There's no doubt. It really, this last few weeks we've been playing a lot of games like this. Of course, the magnitude. Well, some of them are pretty big just to get here. So you kind of you get tested and you get used to it. That's kind of the way it's been the last few weeks. And but it's definitely got to help. Last year's it's kind of funny that it really just came together like that. It was we made some big trades for some impact trades, not just adding players. Some key guys. It was like a light switch. It went on. It wasn't like a gradual improvement. I mean, it just happened really overnight, and we ran with it. But of course there were some marquee players we brought in too. But it was, it all started last spring training with Russell Martin, who's our backbone, and then Donaldson. You could see a switch in the attitude around here, some toughness, that kind of thing. Some guys that had been through the postseason. So in spring training you could tell there was immediate different attitude. So, and then we added David Price and Tulo, LaTroy Hawkins, Mark Lowe. All it did was add to that, same kind of guys. And so really they just, Ben Revere, same kind of guys. So all we did was add it to a good thing, and we just took off like gangbusters.
Take one last one on your left.
John, what did you think of Donaldson's decision to come home on that play?
Great play. That could be a tough read on a base runner at third base too. When a third baseman. I mean, it's easy if the guy's playing in a little bit, but he gets kind of no man's land. I mean, it can be a tough read. A lot of times third base coach will tell him, see it through, or if he's got to move this way or that way. And I think he stutter stepped, which helped. But anytime you trade, if you get cut a run down, with an out instead of just going to first base, that plays big in games like this.